think we're recording. Yes, we are. All right. I'm glad that you all are here. Let's get started. Learn some more stuff about bundles. So, hello, my name is Nicole Whitlock, and I am with eCom Sellers Mastery. Today, we are covering session 4 of our bundles training. We've covered a lot of stuff, so I'm going to try to keep this one under 2 hours already. I know we've covered a lot in our previous session. So in our last training session, we went through the listing checklist. We talked about all the key components of making sure that your listing is amazing and that your listing gets a lot of traffic. The next thing that we covered was some keyword research and some keyword research strategies, some things to keep in mind for keyword research. We also covered a little bit of keyword research when we did niche research in session 2. We talked about creating your title for your listing and what are some of the things you need to think about. What are some of the key features that your competitor is using so you can gain inspiration from that. We spent a lot of time on photos and modifying photos, cropping photos, taking photos. What are the different ways in which you can take photos? And we actually created an Amazon listing. I actually had the screenshots. We walked through that. So if you hadn't had a chance to go through session 3, go back and take a look at that. So today we're covering creating a Walmart listing, creating an Etsy listing, creating a Facebook Marketplace listing, creating an eBay listing, packaging and shipping your bundles, and some of the hazmat basics. So this is a lot to cover. You'll be able to go back and look at this again, but I'm just going to point out some things that might be helpful for you as you go on this journey to creating these listings. All right, so as always, like this is your business. Your results are based off of your effort. As you do more bundles, you will get better at it when you first start off. You may not be the best, but that's okay. The goal is to keep going. It's kind of like, I always liken it to learning how to walk. Like when we first learned how to walk, we were ambitious about it and we failed a lot. It's okay. We got better with it and it became easier for us to walk, except for me right now because I got this thing going on with my back. But in any case, you just have to continue to put in the effort. A lot of the strategies and techniques that we've thrown into this training are going to help you to create effective bundles that will help you to make more sales, increase your ROI, reduce your competition, set you apart from the crowd. But again, it's up to you to take that action and put in the work. So we're going straight into it, creating a Walmart listing. So if you don't have a Walmart account, the first thing I do want you to do is create one. Walmart selling account. We have a whole training inside of eCom Sellers. We have a two-part workshop inside of eCom Sellers Academy where we walk you through what's needed to set up your account. We also have the eCom Sellers Mastery Walmart training. It walks you through all the different ways you can create listings with Walmart, and it also walks you through, setting up your Walmart account. So if you don't have that, you can actually sign up and get 50% off on that training because you're currently a Mastery member, and you just go to www.ecomsellersmastery.com, put in promo code 50OFFESM. You have to type it. You cannot copy paste. You have to type it. You get 50% off of the Walmart training. And again, we walk through, I think, the 4 different ways in which you can create Walmart listings. Walmart is very unique in that way. So I wanted to give you the option to get in there. So once you log into your Walmart account, you can go to seller.walmart.com or walmart.seller.com. I think it's seller.walmart.com. And you log into your account. When you first log into your account, you're going to come to your seller dashboard. Like this is the first page you're going to go. And you're going to click on new item because you're going to create a new listing. Their process is a little more involved. There's going to be a scroll bar that's over here that you're going to scroll up and down to get through all these pages, but you're literally just going to, it's a process. Okay. So once you get in here, once you click on create a listing or list an item, new listing, the first thing that's going to make you do is you're just going to make you name the item. And it's also going to ask you to put in your UPC and choose a category. Okay. That's the first thing. Once you do that, then it's going to walk you through the processes. You're going to see there's going to be buttons towards the bottom as you step through this process. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our UPC code And then we're going to choose the category of where this thing is going to go. And so these are your category drop-down options. You're going to keep scrolling down to see all of the options. And then after you put in a title, and again, this was just a short title. This is not a long title. So go back, do the research on the keyword research, do the research that's necessary to create an effective title. What are the key things that people are looking for this product? Like people love PJ Masks. And then you also want to keep in mind the stuff we learned last time, which is what's all the wrong ways in which they're spelling it. Then you want to enter after you enter your category, you can see, put in your title, you're going to type in your UPC code. After you type in your UPC code, you can put in your SKU. So you're going to hit enter, and then it's going to take you to the fields that are below this page. So we're literally going to step through item content, then imagery, and then offer. I think somewhere in the slides, I may have gotten them out of order. So we may go directly from item content to offer and then back to imagery. But in any case, just know that all three of these will be covered as we step through these steps. Okay, so after you press enter, then you'll be able to come down to the fields below. You're going to put in a SKU. We talked about naming conventions for SKUs. What are good naming conventions? What are the things you need to know? Especially the difference between like buying all of your pieces for your bundle from a wholesale supplier or having a private label, having a manufacturer put together a bundle for you and manufacture a true bundle for you as a private label product, or sampling a bundle. Like you're going to get pieces and components just to see if this thing is going to sell. So an example might be maybe shampoo and conditioner. Shampoo and conditioner is a common bundle. And so maybe you sourced it from, I don't know, Big Lots, Ulta, whatever it happens to be. So you might want to figure out in your naming convention for your SKU how you want to indicate where you got these pieces from. So again, we talked about that in session 2. I think it was session 2 or session 3, one of the two. And keep that in mind. If you're doing a virtual bundle, again, where you want to have a SKU so you have an idea of a naming convention or where they can find it, especially if you're outsourcing aspects of your business to a VA. And then if you are getting it directly from a manufacturer, then of course you've got your own naming convention. But the naming convention is extremely helpful, especially if you're sampling. So a sample of shampoo and conditioner, you're trying to come up with maybe some kind of branding idea or concept. Then you ultimately go to a branding process where you actually have someone producing it for you. You'll probably have 2 different sets of SKUs. So keep that in mind. Okay, so once you enter your SKU, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put in your description. And again, description is going to be a little more than what I've put in here, but this is for the purposes of this exercise. And then you're going to put in the brand. As you notice, we're going down this thing right here. I mean, like, oh my gosh. And we're still on item content. So you have to go all the way down to scroll as you go through this before you can move on. You can always save your draft and come back to it. It'll be in your Walmart listing inventory. So then we're going to go in and we're going to put in our features of this particular product. Again, I was just typing in some stuff. So I put in some stuff from last week, which was get inspiration from your competitors. What are the features? How are they listing? And sometimes your competitors are not listing things very well. I will tell you for key features, this is where your Walmart listing might not go live. Again, if you take the Walmart training, this will make a little bit more sense. So you may have to edit your features or edit your description so that Walmart allows your listing to go live. That doesn't mean that the features or the description are wrong. It's just a flaw or characteristic of selling on Walmart. So just be mindful of that. You do have the ability to type a bunch of stuff, but sometimes Walmart wants you to scale it back and you won't know it until you come in here and start messing with it. Okay, so then you're going to put in the manufacturer. And since this is like 3 different manufacturers, we've got a chair, a lamp, a chair, a lamp, and a table. So you got to figure out which one of the 3 manufacturers you want to indicate here. If you're going to ultimately have something created for you, then you'll put down whoever the manufacturer is there. I would put the manufacturer for the primary item. That's what I would do. But again, you decide how you want to list that. And then you want to answer the question. So I'm going to keep going. Indicate the color and the color category. Just color is fine. You may not have a color category for your bundle. Is this item shipped alone? It must be shipped alone, or yes or no. So there's some additional notes that we kind of like wanted to make sure that you knew that this item cannot be shipped in the same box with another item. So the item will ship alone and not be grouped in the price calculation, the shipping price calculation. So you want to make sure you indicate that if you're doing, especially think about that for virtual bundles. Then the material that this is made of, what age group, and again, we're just working through on down this scroll here. The age group, so in this example, is PJ Masks and is for kiddos. And then size, if that's applicable. Seating capacity, of course, it's just a chair for one child. We don't have any drawers, so we don't have to populate that. So if there are fields that don't apply to you, don't try to populate them if they don't make logical sense. The more you put in, the more that Walmart's going to help to try and index you so that your listing comes up in the Google search, especially for the keywords in which you use in the title and or description. So then the theme is PJ Masks. So again, you want to type it the way that it's that it really is. Then is assembly required? Yes or no? So I know that the table has to be assembled when it gets there. And of course, like this, the chair is going to come as is. The lamp, normally the lampshade is over on one side, like in the box, and the lamp post itself is separate. So you're going to have to put the lampshade on the top of the post. So yes, there's going to be assembly required. So think about your particular listing to see if that's going to be necessary. And then we go through the process and we're going to start adding the images. So you'll notice I went from item content over to images. Hope this is still in the correct order. And the first thing I did was you put your cluster photo in. You have to make sure that your cluster photo is there. That's extremely important. And then what is the next thing that people are going to be looking for? So in this example, the cluster photo is first. This is the photo we created last week. The next one is the chair and the lamp. Okay. And then after the chair and the lamp is the table. That's the order in which I want them to be seen. Now, of course, we would also have an image of the item in use, which is that awesome picture of the child that's sitting in the chair. And then I would superimpose the table and the lamp like next to the child and add that as a fourth photo. So showing the item in use or any descriptive images that are going to point out like things you need to know, key features of this product. And we saw a couple of listings where they show the key features of a product. Okay. So then once the listing is live, one thing is offer. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So we'll get back to the offer. So once the images are there, then what we're going to do is we're going to come to our listing. And now we're going to have to change our inventory quantity. So we put in a price of $219.99. And this item actually exists in our inventory, but this listing is not live. So in order for it to become live, we're going to click on edit to change that. And we have to enter our quantity and hit submit. And then if you're like using a fulfillment center, because Walmart has the Walmart Fulfillment Center, you can also use Deliver. They love the relationship with Deliver. Then you can, that would be an option as well. So for, again, more detailed instructions on creating a listing, this is a manual listing that we just kind of walk through. For more detailed instructions on how to create a listing with Walmart, because you can do an actual Excel spreadsheet upload with the listing. You can do the bulk listing. You can do a single listing using the spreadsheet method. So there's a couple different things. So keep that in mind as well. And again, you can get 50% off by typing 50 off ESM if you go to www.ecomsellersmastery.com. So you can just get familiar with creating listings in general with Walmart, and you can step through the process of getting your Walmart application approved so you can sell on Walmart. Again, you won't have the same restrictions that you have if you're selling on Amazon. Walmart is definitely giving Amazon a run for its money. And if you haven't been following the news, the statistics around the amount of sales on Walmart.com have increased significantly since COVID-19. So Walmart definitely surpassed a few different platforms when it came to sales and traffic. And they do a much better job than any other platform that I've seen. outside of Bonanza on getting your item to show up, or Google Shopping, to getting your item to show up in the Google search engine. So just so you know, they are really good. All right, so the next one is creating an Etsy listing. So you're going to log into your own Etsy account, wherever your whatever your Etsy account is. And once you log into your Etsy account, you're going to click on add a listing. Okay, so then once you add a listing, we're going to step through the process. The first piece of creating a listing is they want the images. Again, your images have to pop. You can use the same images on all the platforms. So again, we use the example of the chair, although I can't sell the chair set on Etsy. So you want to go through and confirm what you can and cannot sell on Etsy and see if it meets the criteria. So one thing that you could sell on Etsy is like a print-on-demand bundle. Print-on-demand bundles can be like printables. It can be T-shirts. So you could do, if you've got an account like on Printful or Printify, you could create a bundle that's got like a baseball cap, a T-shirt, I don't know, and a little wristband or headband or whatever, or glasses, something that's a print-on-demand kind of situation. Glasses cover, phone case cover, so maybe you do a bundle that's a phone case cover and a laptop cover. Whatever works for you. You can do stickers. So there's different bundles in which you can sell on Etsy, but the first thing is that you got to have photos. So after you've kind of designed what it is you're going to sell on the platform, in which is the platform that's going to fulfill the inventory or fulfill the order for you, then you want to come here and you want to put in your images. So again, if you're doing a virtual bundle, that's fine as well. Just make sure, again, you're ranking for the keywords. Keywords are always most important. And your title and your description are going to be important, but your pictures are one of the key things. What are people looking for? And again, since people can do image searches, don't forget to name your bundles. Your images. Don't forget to name your images on whatever platform you're selling them on. So we're going to add the photos. That's the first thing. And then if you have a video, if it's applicable, then you can add a video. Sometimes a video showing the item in use or somebody wearing it is helpful to get you more traction and more traffic to your listing. So keep that in mind as well. And you can do those little snippet marketing videos that are like 5 seconds long, 15 seconds long. If you got a TikTok, like maybe you got a TikTok, somebody wearing your baseball shirt and hat, your baseball hat, shirt, and whatever else that you put together as a bundle. You can have a 2-piece bundle. You could have a multi-pack. You could have whatever you want to do. There's no limitation on that. Then put your title for your particular item. Remember, the keywords are important, that people are going to be looking for this. And then you want to click on the drop downs for all of these. So who made it? What is it? And when did you make it? And also choose your category of where this lives. So again, if you're not already selling on Etsy, then none of this applies to you. But if you plan on selling on Etsy, you want to make sure that you go through and review what you can and cannot sell on Etsy. So Etsy, you can just do a Google search on Etsy. You can also, if you're part of Academy, we have an Etsy 2-part workshop that talks about what you can and cannot sell on Etsy. I think we've covered it twice now. And then there's some great content inside of eCom Seller Summit and eCom Q4 Summit around selling things on Etsy, because it's not just, handmade stuff. I think that's one thing that people overlook. You can do bundles for a boatload of non-handmade stuff, including stuff you find out in nature. You'd be surprised by that. And then your listing renewal, physical items. So if you're not selling on Etsy, go check out the eCom Sellers Academy Etsy training. It should be in your back office. Make sure you put the description for your particular item. And then after you put the description, if it's applicable, you can group it with in a section. If not, so an example might be Mother's Day is tomorrow. So if it belongs with a specific grouping that people might be looking for, that might be a good one to classify. So if you are creating bundles, I create seasonal bundles for like Christmas and 4th of July and New Year's. So again, that's a good one to be thinking about. Tags and also material. If it makes sense to populate it, then populate it and indicate your price, your quantity, and again, your SKU. And the SKU is really for you and not necessarily for the users themselves. If you have variations for this particular listing, maybe you got red, green, and blue, or you got small, medium, and large, add your variation information, anything else that you might think is helpful to add to this listing, and then your shipping. So if you haven't set up a shipping profile, you want to establish one. You should have a shipping profile on all the platforms that you sell on, meaning you should have some shipping settings on Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Shopify, wherever you're selling. There's always going to be some shipping settings. So make sure you populate those and then go from there. And if there's anything special about the shipping for this particular item, you also want to indicate that. And if you're doing a virtual bundle, make sure you put that in the description, like these items will be shipped separately, or these things have to be assembled when upon arrival. Put your item weights, your item size, dimensions, so that at least that's your pricing based on your shipping profile. And then you're ready to publish this bad boy. You can either preview it or you can publish it. But again, another opportunity for you to sell your other platform. The next one, Facebook Marketplace. So Facebook Marketplace is a fast-growing platform to sell products. It's a great opportunity for you to get your item out there. If you are wanting to list your item on one platform and then cross-list others, there are different tools you can use, like List Perfectly and Bindu, so you can cross-list it and not have to create a manual listing. So just letting you know about that. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is log into your Facebook account. And then once you log on your Facebook account, you just click on the F that's up in the upper right-hand corner. And then you should see an option where you click on the marketplace, and then you should see an option for create a listing. So for those who don't know what the little marketplace icon looks like, it looks like this. So it's like a little house or hut or shopping, supposed to represent a shopping building or something like that. Okay. So then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to create a listing. So you can click on choose the type of listing you're going to create. In this example, we're going to create an item for sale. Now I chose the chair set. So some of the features, based on what you choose, different things are going to show up. So not everything that I have for this guide, like I should have listed maybe my Trolls World Tour bundle instead of the sofa chair, and chose that instead, because that one's easier from a shipping standpoint. So the sofa chair didn't give me the shipping settings, but there is a shipping setting that you need to be mindful of. So you'll upload the photos. Again, we've talked about photos. We've talked about photos so much. How you create your photos, your images for your products, and some of them you can do yourself just using those tools. So then you upload your photos, and then after you upload your photos, you're going to put in your title and your price. So you'll notice that I've got the center photo, which is the combo photo that we created last week, the chair, the lamp, and the table. And so I'm going to put my title, my price, the category, so it's under furniture, and then put the condition, which is new. So I gave it a title, gave it a price, chose the category, condition is new, brand, which is, again, whatever your bundle brand name is going to be. Start using it as much as possible, especially after you've gone through trademark and got it established. Use it as much as possible so that if anybody's searching the internet, they can find your bundle products. If your brand name, of course, can be different than your selling account name. So if you're trying to create a brand, use your brand name as often as possible if you're long-term creating a brand. So this would have been a better listing if I had used my Trolls World Tour kind of products instead. But in any case, put in my brand, put in my material. And then after I do that, I got to put in the dimensions, the decor, the dimensions, the description, types of stuff in the description. Product tags, SKUs, again, there's a limit of 20 on this one. It's telling you that, and that's helpful to know. You also have the option of boosting your listing. You can also hide the listing from your friends if you want to. So I know a lot of people will set up a completely separate Facebook Marketplace or second Facebook account that they only use for Facebook Marketplace selling, meaning shipping selling, not local pickup selling. So you can choose to do that. That's not uncommon to have a second Facebook account. I've seen people do that. Your choice on how you want to do that. Then the next thing is, the next would be like your shipping stuff, but because I'm choosing furniture, I don't have some stuff set up to be able to sell furniture. So what you'll need to make sure that you do is you will have to go in and update your shipping settings inside of Facebook Marketplace. And we do have a training on that. We have a training on Facebook Marketplace, 2 places. If you bought the eCom Sellers Academy, eCom Sellers Summit 3, which was our last summit that we had in February, inside of there, if you bought the, what was it? The bump, it had the Facebook Marketplace training. We had 2 training videos that are in there. So in addition to that, in eCom Sellers Academy, we offer Facebook Marketplace training. We have a 2-part series. We walk you through how to create your listing, how to set up your shipping settings, all of that. We went through in great detail. We actually did a live listing. So that's inside of eCom Sellers Academy. That's available as a standalone. If you want to buy that, it's $27. It's not that expensive. So if you want to buy that, let me know. And it walks you through creating listings on Facebook Marketplace. But this is everything that I've covered here. It's pretty good. The only thing that you don't see is the shipping settings. So you may go back and look at that. Once your listing is ready for items that you're actually going to ship, once your item is ready, you will actually get the opportunity towards the end of publishing your listing that if you are in multiple Facebook groups or you're in multiple, like I have local garage sale groups and other groups that I'm part of, I can publish it in those groups as well. You have the opportunity to publish it in up to 20 groups, okay? So once you're done, you can click on publish. This is great for people who are actually creating a Facebook group in which they sell products in. Believe it or not, there are Facebook groups that are standalone Facebook groups that all they do is sell products in those Facebook groups. And people join the Facebook group just to be able to buy the products. So they'll promote or feature a specific product every single day, multiple products a day. People will bid on them. And some of these Facebook groups like have 200, 300,000 people in them. It's ridiculous. So if you have a niche that you know there is an audience for, I would encourage you to create a Facebook product group for that particular niche. So I happen to be gray hair. I could create a Facebook group around, and this is based off of the very first class number 1 or number 2, where we talked about niches. I could create a Facebook group that is for women with gray hair, products for women with gray hair. And it's a Facebook group. And I would make sure that I have the keywords, the description, so that people can organically find it. And then I would showcase and feature products that are specifically for women with gray hair. There are people who have little dogs and they love little dogs. And so, so you could create a Facebook group for people that dog lovers, small dog lovers products, Facebook group, and then let people organically find you and they can come in there and buy your products. Okay. So keep that in mind. There's always strategies to be able to sell your product. It's a great opportunity for you to get more traction and to reduce your competition. I think that's one of the biggest things that people complain about is that they're frustrated by the restrictions and guidelines on Amazon, but they overlook the opportunity of other platforms and how they could get rid of their inventory. So don't be just so laser focused, narrow focused on, like Amazon and what Amazon will or will not let you do, or the additional hoops that Amazon makes you go through. You have opportunities on other platforms. And I think when we did our Facebook Marketplace training, just did a Facebook ads and Instagram ads training. We talked about like the number of users that are on Facebook in a given day. It's over 300, no, I'm gonna get the number wrong, 3 million users on a given day will be on Facebook. So again, expand your thinking. I'm just saying. All right, so the next one is creating a listing on eBay. So the first thing you're gonna do, log into your eBay accounts, and then you're gonna click on create listing. So in this example, I'm creating a single listing. You can do multiple listings. If you've got a tool to upload, then you can do that. They're going to ask you what category you're selling this product in, or if you already have a listing template. So you can create listing templates. If you're going to be creating bundles all the time, create a template for it. Save it as a template, create a template. It'll save you a bunch of time. And so, especially if you're selling the same thing, like similar things over and over again. Maybe not the exact same thing. Maybe there's a similarity to it. So I type in what it is that I'm selling. I click on get started. It's going to take me to a place that says, hey, is this your product? No. So I don't see mine. I'm going to click on continue if you don't see yours. So then it's going to take you to your first place to go ahead and start typing in stuff to create your listing. You're going to, you can change your title there. I can update the title and make it longer because I still have more characters left. So I will tell you, one of the common things that you see on eBay and sometimes also on Amazon is that they will make that title the longest with majority of the keywords in it, but don't overlook the fact that your first 5 spaces are the most important. So do your research. What are the words that are being searched the most? Make sure they're at least in the first 5. Make sure that you have the number of pieces or, whatever it happens to be, if it's going to be a set, if it's a bundle, whatever it is, make sure you put the number of pieces that go with it. I've seen pieces in the words PCS. I've seen pieces, typed out. I've seen a 3-piece set with a dash in it. Like I've seen so many different variations on it, but just make sure you put the stuff that's going to make the most sense for you. Also, they've got some automatic, specifics. If there are other specifics you think are going to be beneficial, you might, include, here's your title types on, they'll add some more sometimes. Subtitles, so you have a space for that, and it is going to charge you. Put your SKU. Your SKU is important, especially if you're doing a test run of a sample bundle. Again, and then other categories that it might make sense to be in. UPC. So we've seen UPC on Amazon. We've seen UPC on Walmart. We've seen UPC on eBay. So eBay, you can buy UPC codes if you want. And if you're doing a sample test run, using your sample UPCs, the UPCs that you buy standalone, like buying a small bundle of 100 or something, you can use those long-term bigger picture. You want to make sure, like, if you're going to private label this thing, if this is going to become its own entity and it becomes a business that long-term somebody buys from you. So an example might be, maybe you're offering cosmetics. So we talked about shampoo and conditioner earlier. So maybe you later on get bought out by Revlon or something. Again, establishing some UPCs through GS1 is good. It is a good thing, especially if you're going to go down the brand route. If you're going to stay in the generic lane, then you may have to buy UPCs on eBay and use them on eBay. Just make sure you do research on who you're buying them from, because sometimes they'll resell UPCs. So that's, go read the history of the person that you're buying UPCs from to make sure that the UPCs are good or valid. Okay. Then the condition and adding your photos, always a good thing. Make sure that you name the photo files. I keep talking about that over and over and over again. So name the photo file so that they are good. So then the next thing is the number in the set. I said at the top it was a 3-piece set. Set includes, make sure that you indicate what it includes and the brand. If it's, again, not branded, or you don't know, if you're doing a virtual bundle, you may not know The brand, probably want to see what the key featured item is and put the brand for that. Otherwise, manufacturer for that when you get to manufacturer. But if you're branding for yourself, if you're starting the journey of branding for yourself, this is something you're going to go through trademark, start using that brand name everywhere. Start using it, start using it, start using it. So then after you finish that, then you have some additional item specifics based on the category that you chose. So you want to fill in as much of item specifics as possible. Why? Because what's going to happen is that eBay is going to give your item more presence because of the fact that you have a bunch of item specifics about it. So whatever's relevant, whatever makes sense for you, populate the item specifics. That's going to help you long term. Okay. So don't overlook that. And it's also going to potentially reduce the number of questions. So if people want to know the dimensions on the chair, if people want to know, and let's just say we were just selling the chair, maybe we were selling replacement cushions of some type. So that was the bundle set. Like you can change the entire chair from the cat boy to what was the lizard name? Oh Lord, I forget his name. And then you have Owlette, who is red. So maybe you're selling the chair itself, and then you have replacement covers for all the different characters in PJ Masks. So again, that's good to know that it's all the same thing. So the dimensions for the chair are always going to be the same. Then put your additional information, your item description, as much as you can. Some people will use the HTML tab to put in some additional features. Make sure that you use the bullets. You have the option of clicking on advanced editing, and you'll get some more features there. Once you have put in the description, your description is so important. So if you're not really sure what you should put in the description, again, go look at some of your competitors. Go see what that chair looks like standalone, just in a regular eBay listing. And then you have the format. So I actually took a screenshot of this where you had the drop down. So the drop down, it says auction style, but you actually have fixed price. So fixed price, if I chose fixed price, I may see some additional fields. I don't know why I didn't stay, but anyway, right now we see auction style. So you can choose fixed price as the format on eBay. Put in for your listing. Once you change it to fixed price, again, you'll see some differences for your product or for your options. You can indicate the price, the quantity, and any additional things for the payment. So if you set up, eBay has eBay payments, or I forget the full name of it right now because they rolled it out at the end of last year. eBay managed payments. That's what it is. Then you might see some more options there. Okay. And then we have some information about the sales tax. We have return information. So if you haven't set up a return policy, you need to establish your return policy. You also have some shipping specifics. So again, whatever makes sense, whatever's applicable, go update those settings. You can actually set up your template for this so that it just defaults in and you just edit what you want. So I think this is my old eBay template. And then make sure that you indicate your handling time. That's going to be important, especially if you're using a prep center for some of your stuff. If you're putting it together yourself, if you have to, if it's shipped separately in two different pieces, so maybe there's two pieces coming from you and another piece coming from a manufacturer or another wholesale supplier, then your handling time is going to be important because you don't want that to mess up your metrics on eBay. And then your dimensions, always important because that's going to help you calculate shipping. Then we have some more options for promoting your products, and you'll see your fees once you fill in all the fields. And the next thing is to list your item. Again, you can save it as a draft, or you can preview it before you submit it. Okay. So before we get into any of that, what questions about these listings so far? Because we went through a lot of listings really fast. So what questions in the chat? I don't know who's here. I don't know who's on my leadership that's here. I don't know if there is anybody on the leadership here. Let's go look. So what questions do you all have about that? Anything immediately come to mind? Do you have questions before? How to name your pictures. So the way that you name your pictures, I've always named them with an underscore. So I would go over to my pictures folder, and I thought I covered it, but maybe I didn't. So this one I didn't do what I normally teach, but anyway, you can left click on your picture, and once you left click, let me see, where's the cluster? This is a cluster. So whatever your title is going to be, your first 5 words, you could do 7 to 8, whatever your first 5 words are, or 7 to 8. You left click on the image, and then you can rename it. So let me go over here. Let me go to bundles. So once I click on left click, I can click on rename. I'm going to go in here. You can put dashes or you can put underscores. So I would do PJ Masks because I know that that's what people are searching for. And then I have chair set, but I would actually expand that: chair, lamp, table, 3 piece set. So if someone is looking for a PJ Masks chair, if someone is looking for PJ Masks chair, mine's going to come up in the image search. If they're looking for PJ Masks chair, it'll come up. I did not put Catboy, so I definitely should put Catboy in. 3-page Catboy. There we go. So in that example, I would the search, if you do a check to make sure, what are people searching for? They're searching for PJ Masks Catboy. And if they're looking for a chair, PJ Masks Catboy chair. So if they search for chair, PJ Masks Catboy chair, mine's going to come up. I would name this one PJ Masks Catboy chair here. So again, I left click on the image, do the underscore, Masks Catboy chair. And then now it's PJ Masks Catboy chair. So that's the bundle. Then I would go through and do the others. This one is just a white table. So if people were just looking for a kit, this one is a horrible option. I'm sorry, it really is, from last week. I said that because this is not appropriate for a kid's room. Like, I just saw the table and I liked it. I thought it was fancy. But I would actually probably just go to IKEA, get something cheap, and use that as a superimposed picture. But since we had already created the picture, I just went ahead and did it. But anyway, I would not name this table PJ Masks. I would probably name this kids. I would probably put kids table bedroom, like something like that, because people are looking for a table, and I would probably put the color in there. So white kids table. But I would go do some keyword research first to figure out how to name this image. And then the PJ Masks lamp, I would actually name this PJ Masks Catboy lamp. So PJ Masks with an S, and then Catboy lamp. And then now when I upload my pictures, you want to make sure your pictures are the right dimensions. If you're not really sure, you can left click on the image and you can open with, and I think we went over this last week, you can go into like Paint, and Paint is the easiest one. I think Paint is available, or a version of it is available on the Mac. I happen to be on a PC. So if I click on resize and I go to pixels, I can see that this thing is at least 1,000. So one of the sides is at least 1,000. I'm happy with that. So I'll move on with life. So you can open that in Paint. So what other questions do you guys have about the listing? I hope that answers your question. What other questions do you all have about the listing? Do you recommend a certain camera? No, I don't. I mean, I like the iPhone camera, just my personal thing. But I feel like as phone cameras have progressed over the years, like the cameras are fairly decent on most phones. So I don't have a strong preference. If someone asks me, I start taking my pictures first with the iPhone as a starting point, and then I go from there. But, you know, Samsung, Lord have mercy, I'm not thinking of any of the phones right. Galaxy, trying to think of all of them. LG, I know there's a bunch of new phone names. Like, they all, for the most part, they're sharing similar parts or interiors of the phone. And so they do a fairly decent job of taking photos. But I do take the majority of my pictures. If I'm taking physical pictures, I take them with my iPhone. That's been a preference forever. But that was because iPhone came out with the best camera first, and then everybody else has played catch up afterwards. Okay. All right. All right. So then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about some shipping. So now we know how to do product research. We know how to create listings. We created listings on 5 different platforms and directly. And now the next thing is to talk about shipping. So shipping and packaging. There's a lot to cover, so I'm gonna try to hit the high points. So your packaging or your shipping mistakes can hurt your business long term, especially if you're trying to establish a brand name. If you are trying to create a brand name that people are going to buy your products in the future, then shipping your packages in crap or doing a shoddy job, even if you're doing a test run, try to do your best to protect the product and to also make it look as professional as possible. I will tell you, like you can buy the brown shipping paper. You can buy a roll of that from the Dollar Tree. If you're not sure whether or not, okay, it's outside this box good or not. So some mistakes that people make is underestimating their shipping costs. Okay. That's going to affect your profits long term. Not making sure you packaged it well. So then your item is delivered and it's damaged. And then you're going to have lots of returns and a boatload of negative feedback. Okay. You're going to have negative feedback. If people feel like the package that they got was just crap, they'll take a picture of it and put it on social media. Social media is like instant karma. And I don't even want to say it's instant karma, but it clearly is an instant result. And so sometimes people will think twice about buying something from you because of the experience that they got from you. So shipping things late, you need to figure out if you're going to do bundles. What I normally do is I will put the bundles together or put them near each other on the shelf if I'm shipping them. So that when the item is sold, I'm not trying to spend 3 days hunting for which tub was it in, which shelf was it on, where's the other piece to this? Oh my God, I can't find it. Now I got to go buy it from somebody else. So try to figure out how to get organized, put your stuff together if you're going to ship it yourself, especially as you're testing out ideas and concepts until you transition. If this is what you're going to do long term, until you transition permanent long term to maybe a manufacturer or your own custom packaging, boxes, all that other stuff. And then not having an effective shipping plan in place. So again, you got to figure out what your strategy is going to be. If you're doing bundles, you're doing your first test run of different types of bundles. Maybe you got 4 or 5 different variations of the same thing. So you're trying to figure out which one is most appealing, which one is more is going to attract, going to be more interesting to your audience. More people are going to be interested in receiving this product, or they want to buy this product, so it's getting more traction, it's getting more traffic. They're sharing it with others. So you want to have a strategy for that. So I'll use the example of the shampoo and conditioner again. So maybe you have some kind of, in addition to shampoo and conditioner, maybe you're doing some type of spray, but you're still working that out with the manufacturer, with your white label company. So you're just going to sample to see, okay, most people are used to buying shampoo and conditioner. What's one other thing that they may buy together? Maybe they'll buy a brush, maybe they'll buy some spray, maybe they'll buy some hold something, whatever it happens to be, hold gel, hold spray. What are the combinations? So when you produce your own version, you've put together, I've sampled with a brush, I got 20 sales on that. I sampled with some hold spray, I got 900 sales on that. I sampled with, you get the idea, like I sampled with something. What was the combination I sampled with? I get more traction on this combination than I do this one. I talk to my white label supplier or my manufacturer and say, this is the combination that I want you to package these up in. Figure out which ones get more traffic, more traction, people are more interested in. Okay. So when you're developing your test bundle, determine what you might ship the products in. Think about the dimensions and the size. I try to collapse as much as possible, uh, like the space and the size of the box. So I'll use an example. I always do holiday bundles for Christmas. So I know that I can use flat rate shipping, medium, and the medium comes in 3 different sizes. So there's the shoebox size, there's the long box size, and then there's the fat box size. But if you do a search for USPS flat rate shipping and you do medium, you'll see only 2. They only show you 2. But I know when I go into the post office that I can get the shoebox size. So that's the 3rd one, and they will charge me the medium. So I will create bundles that I know fit perfectly in the shoebox size, the entire bundle set, whatever it happens to be. So maybe I'm putting together a PJ Masks throw pillow, so I can shrink that down and flatten it out, shrink wrap it. I will do maybe a throw pillow and a blanket and some other stuff that goes with it. That makes logical sense to go together. So maybe I'm doing like a sleepover set. So maybe I put the pajamas and I put the little house shoes and I put, I don't know, a little cape or something. Like put something, those things together that make the most logical sense and squeeze it into the box as much as possible. But I like things that are like, that can be shrunk down. If it is something that is hard and fixed, I can't shrink that down as much. So what I mean by hard and fixed is a shampoo bottle and a conditioner bottle are hard and fixed. I can't squish it down like I can a pillow, like I can a blanket, like I can pajamas. I can squish that down and squeeze as much crap in there as I want to. So I try to manage the number of things that are hard and fixed that can't shrink in size inside of a box versus the things that can shrink in size. So if I can do more things that are soft and squishy that can expand when it comes out of the box, then people will see that as potentially, sometimes, not always, more value. They're getting more for the bang for the buck, for the holiday, for whatever it is that they're about to buy. So I might put the pillow, the blanket, the pajamas, the house slippers, all in the same thing. And they're all sleep related in some kind of way. There's a sleep connection. I might sell the pillow and the blanket by itself. I might sell the house shoes and the pajamas by itself and put that in a smaller, maybe padded flat rate envelope. So I try to figure out my dimensions for stuff. I try to figure out how I might ship it before I start putting together my bundle. I got to know, how am I going to be shipping this thing? How am I going to get it to that person? And then because I've done it for so long, I kind of have an estimate of what the price might be. Because we've had such a big fiasco with USPS, you need to have a backup plan. So you need to establish an account with UPS and also FedEx. And you need to know that sometimes UPS will use USPS to ship their ground through. So again, if you establish a business account, that's always a good thing to do. So what is the cost? What am I into potentially for the estimated cost? And if you don't know, get a shipping scale. If you don't know, go up to your local USPS office or your UPS office or your FedEx office and take all the crap and say, what's the smallest box or the smallest size that I can ship this in? And they'll give you an idea. Or maybe you have to have custom boxes made. So here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there's actually a place that will actually make boxes for you. They actually advertise, they're in Plano. And so you literally can get custom sized boxes, especially if you plan on selling a lot of these. Okay. Then determine what additional packaging is or might be required. So if you're selling something that's fragile, you need to figure that out. What's the additional packaging that might be required? What size? What do I need? Bubble wrap? Do I need air pillows? Do I need whatever else I need? If it's fragile, so I'm going to wrap it up in bubble wrap, and then I might put it in a padded envelope to keep it from moving. And then I might put it in the smallest box possible, depending on what my bundle is. I don't know what your bundle is. So some of you are going to potentially be selling stuff that's breakable. I'm not a fan of breakable stuff, so I try to minimize that. But again, stuff that logically goes together. What else do I need to be able to ship this? And then you need to go figure out, again, how much is this potentially going to So there might be some trips to the post office. So what I normally do is if I got a whole bunch of bundles I'm testing, I think I have a good idea what it's going to cost me, but if two of them are like really weird shaped and different size, whatever, I will say, okay, these two bundle sets, I'm going to put in the car and I'm going to drive to USPS, FedEx, and UPS and get a quote from each one of them and make a note. Because if I already know what the estimated cost might be for the other ones, in other words, I already know what size box I can put it in. I know how much that size box is going to cost me. I know the flat rate shipping. I can ship things up to 25 pounds. I think it's 20, up to 50 pounds, 25. I forget what it is now because they changed it. It used to be 50 pounds. So I need to go back and look, but you can do that research. You can ship things that are heavier weight up to a certain poundage and a flat rate and not have to worry about the weight. But when you choose something that's not flat rate, you're going to pay. So you need to know what the options are that are similar with UPS or FedEx, or if nothing similar exists and the weight matters for those. So what is the least expensive method? And I would test the furthest. So you could create your listing and then have like one of your family members or friends go try and buy the particular item, like do a Zoom call with them and tell them to put in the furthest zip code for something. You could do it yourself if you have multiple accounts. I have multiple accounts. So I would log in on one of my other laptops and I would literally put in the furthest zip code for me. So I'm in Texas. I might put a zip code that's up in the upper part of New York and then another one that's up in Oregon or Washington and just see what is my cost looking like. I might also put California and Florida just to see what my estimated cost might be. And I might test it on a couple of different platforms just to see, especially if you're shipping something that is weighted and you're not able to put it in a flat rate box. So you got to get your shipping under control. You got to do some estimates. And then determine which carrier, if the carrier has any requirements. Once you figure out which carrier might be best for shipping this thing, then what are their requirements? Meaning, like, does this thing have to be shipped a certain way for them in order for them to receive it and guarantee the delivery of it? Sometimes they have requirements. So I'm going to give you an example. So St. Patty's Day. St. Patty's Day, they have these long, at the Dollar Tree. Let me get you up to speed, sorry. So the Dollar Tree for St. Patty's Day, they have these long green drinking bottles. They're plastic. And people will sell those. So I don't sell them because they're odd shaped. I'm not trying to sell anything that's odd shaped because it can get weird with odd shaped things. Like your costs can skyrocket because there isn't naturally a box from a flat rate standpoint that will ship it. So then they'll start charging you based on dimensions. Like, oh crap. So I don't ship those, but I know other people who have, and they put some bundles together and they've made decent money putting together some cheap Dollar Tree bundles with that long thing. So the goal is, okay, is there anything that I could sell that I can stick inside of this long bottle so that I can ship it all together so it just goes in a tube? Maybe that's the solution. So you got to test out a couple of different things. And is that acceptable for the carrier? Because if you ship something to them, you stuffed it inside of a tube and it rattles a whole bunch, they may say, oh, no, we're not doing this. Whatever this is, I don't want this thing on my truck. I don't want to transport it because it sounds like it's breaking inside. And so you don't want that. You want it to get to your customer. So figure out how you need to package it, see if there's any requirements from the carrier. You should do a test run. Just do a test run. I definitely recommend this if you're using a prep center. Have a test run, have some samples shipped to you or sent to a family member so that you can see what your prep center is doing. Are they doing the right thing? Did they assemble it correctly? Did the sample arrive correctly? So that you know long-term, bigger picture, is this working? And so that way you can make some business decisions about that shipping. Okay, so how your package arrives and what they look like is the last visual your customer has of your business. That's absolutely correct. They saw your item online, they wanted your item, and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to buy this thing. This thing I want. And so what they remember is the picture that they saw, the picture in their mind, the picture that you painted for them based on your listing. You want them to like what they receive. So again, when you're sampling stuff or when you're trying to figure out this whole bundle thing, don't make a bunch of mistakes in shipping your stuff in crap. So don't ship stuff in like cereal boxes or snack boxes or stuff like that. If you're not selling food, like if you're selling food, that makes sense. But if you're not selling food, don't ship it in something that, like if I am shipping, I don't know, a Mother's Day gift that's not food, maybe it's plastic vases or something, I don't know. I'm not going to ship it in a food box. So don't do that. Don't, people will ship stuff in some of the craziest stuff in the world. Don't ship it in fast food bags. Don't ship it in something that's dirty or beaten up. If the box is jacked up, go get some boxes, guys. This is a business. You're running a real business. Treat it like a business. So use free priority mailers with padding inside the packaging. So again, if you're using, I will tell you that FedEx is not like it. Is it FedEx? So UPS has got USPS got to the point where they will put the USPS on the inside, priority on the inside of their boxes. Because what we used to do a long time ago, I'll tell you, hand raised over here, we used to turn the boxes inside out because they were cardboard on the inside, cardboard on the inside with nothing superimposed or printed on them. So USPS got smart and said, you're not going to reuse my stuff. I'm not going to give you all these free shipping supplies and you use it for something else. So turning the box inside out and was not an option anymore because it says priority on the outside. Improper packaging for fragile things, improper box size. Yeah, make it tight. Make it as tight as possible. Reduce the shipping for your customer. I mean, you think about this. How many times have you received stuff from Amazon and they ship it in this gigantic box and you try to figure out what the Sam Hill, like, why did you charge me this shipping in this giant box and you got one little thing in there that's the size of, I don't know, a pencil sharpener? It's annoying. It's frustrating. Nobody wants that. So don't do it to your customers. Try to find the right size box as much as possible. Do clean packaging, bubble wrap, air pillows, find the right size and ship your items the way you would want your stuff to read. Like just do the right thing. Definitely. So shipping supplies, some things you might need, especially when you're in the process of sampling. We already talked, like a shipping scale makes sense, poly bags, bubble mailers, boxes, tape gun, printer. If you're shipping stuff, you're going to need a printer, okay? Because you're probably going to print out labels to go on the outside of the box if you're shipping it yourself. If you're shipping stuff to Amazon FBA or to Walmart or whatever, Walmart says WFS, Walmart Fulfillment Center, you're still going to have to put some stuff on the outside of your things. And make sure that depending on the platform or whatever the platform requires, that you put the do not separate if it makes logical sense to do that. But here are some of the supplies that you might need. And a box resizer might be needed depending on what you're doing. But before you go down the rabbit hole, you need to have some ideas of the types of bundles you want to create. Don't go buy all this stuff. I don't want you to buy anything until you know what types of bundles you potentially want to create. Once you know what type of bundles you want to create, then figure out, okay, if I am going to create these type of bundles, let me go buy some of these products and let me see what I need to know about these products. Oh, if I sell shampoo and conditioner, is there a possibility that lid is going to bust and the person will receive shampoo that is smattered all inside the box? Yes. So how might I ship my shampoo and conditioner? I might want to put it inside of a poly bag or shrink wrap it, and so that way it stays closed. I want to make sure that the little seal has a little lid sealer on it so that people will have to peel that off when they unscrew the lid and peel that off before they can start using it. So just in case there's some compression stuff, make sure I shrink wrap it so that it doesn't spill all over the place. Then put it inside of another bag or a padded bag, or put it inside of a box that it's not going to move around so much. Do I need to fill it with something else? Air pillows, something else? Fill it. But again, you're going down the bundle game. This does not mean like if you're just going to sell it standalone, like I will tell you, I've used everything newspaper to whatever to ship things to my customers so that that way my item doesn't move. But again, when you're thinking about branding or having a long-term strategy for bundles, you got to up your game, but don't go buy anything until you figure out what you're going to be selling. This is just random stuff because you're going to turn around and sell all the bubble wrap. I hear it all the time when people get started in e-commerce. They say, well, I bought all this stuff and now I need to sell all my shipping supplies. You shouldn't have bought that many shipping supplies if you didn't know what you were going to sell. Now, if you're a person that's just doing regular retail arbitrage and you're just selling different things, that's fine because you don't know what it is you're going to need from time to time. But once you've decided you're going to niche down and you're going to get into the bundle game, figure out what types of bundles you're going to sell. Maybe there is a trend around those bundles. Maybe there's a strategy around it. Like I know I don't sell bundles that have an oblong shape. I just don't. And I sell seasonal bundles and I sell bundles that will fit in a flat rate box. So when I'm thinking of a bundle, I look at the items themselves and I go, will this fit the flat rate box? Yes or no. If it will fit in a flat rate box, it's in my cart. And especially if I'm putting together a bundle and I'm doing retail arbitrage to put together bundles, or even if I'm doing, if I'm looking at it from a wholesale supplier standpoint, if I'm going to order it, I kind of have an idea because maybe I've gone to the store to see what the size is of the packaging. And then I order a boatload of it from a wholesale supplier for a lower price. So I already have an idea of what this bundle is going to look like. I've already got the pictures for it before it arrives. I can just take all the inventory that I ordered from my wholesale suppliers and just actually have them ship it to a prep center. And I don't have to touch it because I went and got all the individual pieces at the store first. Okay. So save on your shipping, use whatever's in the back office for whatever system, company you're selling to manage your shipping. So eBay, Amazon, Etsy, whatever's in the back office, use their rate system. Flat rate, I've already mentioned that. Cubic shipping is a way to save on small and heavy items. So pirate ship, we like pirate ship over here, and international shipping. So you also have to decide, are your products going to be available internationally? Yes or no? So on Amazon, you're selling on Amazon.com. Do you want to expand your bundles onto Canada? And are there any guidelines for Canada? Do you want to expand it on the Amazon UK? Underserved markets that Amazon is continuing to expand to. Another opportunity for you to make more money. And do they have a process where you can just ship to Amazon FBA and they will fulfill it from those other platforms? From Amazon Canada and Amazon UK, so you don't have to ship it anywhere in the UK or Canada. So look at those platform options, what's available to you, and think about whether or not you're going to sell. eBay, of course, you ship it to one central location. But again, what's your strategy? What's your approach? Where do you want your listings to show up? And then our recommendations are, I do recommend that you create a business account with USPS, UPS, and FedEx. Sometimes they'll give you special services or special discounts. They will, treat you a little differently. You're a business, you're a small business. So especially if you're building your brand, do that. Supplies. So we recommend Bubble Fast. I mean, you can order your supplies from wherever you want to. Bubble Fast, we have a promo code. I think you get 10% off. So they set it up as eCom, 2M's sellers. I don't know how they missed that when everything that they got from us had 1M, but that's okay. We can't change it. So just whenever you order from Bubble Fast, type in promo code eCom sellers with 2M's. So tracking and shipping software, Pirate Ship is our first recommendation. ShipStation is the second one. ShipStation is going to make more sense if you are using Walmart integration with Deliver, or ShipStation will make sense if you're doing Shopify. So those are two. And then prep centers. So we have My Fulfillment Team, Precision Prep. There's a lot of prep centers. I can give you some more. But in any case, those are our first two that we recommend. We do have codes for them, but I don't have them handy. All right, so let me go back and see what questions. Okay. All right, so we got questions around shipping. So create the bundle, uh, find the shipping box in advance. Yeah, light bulb moment. Yes. I don't ever, like, I need to know what I'm shipping this in. Otherwise, I'm not going to put together the bundle. So what about international shipping? So yeah, again, whatever your platform is that you're using or you're selling on, and Pirate Ship and ShipStation have international options. But you need to know what you're going to do long term, bigger picture when it comes to international shipping. So maybe initially you're just going to sample in the U.S. You're just going to try it in the U.S. You're going to see how that works for you. Prep center recommendations. So yeah, we do prep, my fulfillment team, Precision Prep. There's a few others that we might recommend. I just want you guys to know all prep centers are not perfect, and that includes Amazon FBA, meaning not prep center, but fulfillment centers. So prep centers, I recommend Precision Prep and my fulfillment team. For fulfillment centers, my fulfillment team will do fulfillment, so we'll Precision Prep. But I want you to know that all centers and service providers are not perfect. So Amazon FBA is not perfect when they fulfill your order. Trust me, they are not. And neither is Deliver, and neither is Walmart Fulfillment Services. So there's going to be time to time interesting things that happen, things you have to reconcile, resolve. Just be prepared for that. I don't want you to go to a prep center and think it's going to be perfect, because it is not. Do you use your own address for the return address? I use my business address. If I've established a business for the return for period, I'm going to put my business return address. So whatever that looks like. So I was teaching the Shopify class, and I was like, you can set up, there's a couple different services. Let me go find that slide. Just a second. Let me go find that real quick, because I think that's helpful. That's actually a good question. Hold on, let me find it. What's this? Give me just a second. The question is, which class was that? Was it class number 3? So we did a Shopify intensive where we talked about shipping, setting up your biz. It's not class 3. But in any case, you could Google a couple of these services that are out there that will allow you to ship your stuff. To use their address. So let me see if I can find it. There's a couple of services that are already established that will allow you to use their address for shipping your items or returning your items. Okay. Show my screen and share my screen. So there's a couple different services that are out there will allow you to set up a virtual postal address. So anytimemailbox.com and virtualpostmail.com, they will allow you to set up a return address for your business. And so they will receive your packages if you have return mail and ship that to you or whatever the case may be. Some people, they'll go to the UPS store. So I don't know if you guys remember mailboxes, etc. I might be dating myself, but mailboxes, etc. is another option. I personally have a P.O. box. So I have a P.O. box as my return address. So whenever items are being returned, it's going to go to my P.O. box. But you can set up mailboxes, etc. I know that that's what Full-Time FBA, Stephen Smotherman does. It's not mailboxes, etc. anymore. It's like the UPS store now. But anyway, you can use their physical address, and then your P.O. box that's inside of their physical address for your P.O. box, you actually put like, I don't know, ABC Street, and then Suite, 1, 2, 3, 4. So whatever your P.O. box is, if it's P.O. box 1, 2, 3, 4, then you would put Suite 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the city and the zip, and that would be your return address. But I don't use my personal. And then you just want to make sure you have a process to go check your return mail. Hopefully you're communicating back and forth with your customer so you know when you're going to have return mail. But then there's also anytime mailbox and virtual post mail. And there's a couple of others you can Google those services, but that is a good service for businesses because they need their stuff returned, like, so it makes it easy to receive your stuff. So I hope that helps. All right. So the next thing is talking about hazmat. So hazmat is like prohibited guidelines are going to vary for each platform. And it's like cosmetics or art supplies or electronics. And there's a bunch more like pesticides and all this other stuff. You need to, the platform that I feel like has done the most work around hazmat is Amazon, meaning from a seller standpoint, documentation on what you need to know. The other platforms have some stuff. I think eBay might be second. They have some information, but they don't get into the weeds as much as Amazon does. So again, hairspray is an aerosol, some liquids that you might put on your hair, like if they're considered flammable, you need to be mindful of what your products are made of. I don't sell a lot of hazmat. Full disclosure, I don't. I'm not interested in the hassle, and that's just me personally. So plus my model, like I will sell hazmat, I guess perceived hazmat, like for back to school. So an example might be, the watercolors, paints, markers, that some of that can be perceived as hazmat. Is it flammable? Is it, is it a gas, whatever it may be. So paint can fall into that category. And sometimes kids like the watercolors for preschool and first grade, they're considered hazmat. So I have limited hazmat that I deal with, and I don't have the energy and the time to deal with a bunch of guidelines on the different platforms. So if I am going to sell something that's hazmat, and if I've gone through the process of creating a listing and I've gotten like, okay, I don't have time for this and I need to move on, unless I have my VA doing the work, if I'm doing the listing myself, I literally will just go put that item on another platform, that whole bundle on another platform, because I just don't have the patience for it. But I will have my VA go do the work. So I know what's involved. I just don't do it that often because I'm not interested. You want to make sure whatever you're selling, if your product does have any guidelines around it, that you follow whatever the federal, state, and local laws are for that specific platform. Now, local laws are just hard to know. I will tell you that they are. But again, Amazon has done a pretty decent job for the most part of checking all the boxes so that when you create that listing, they're covering themselves, I feel like 90% of the time. That doesn't negate the fact that you don't need business insurance. You should already have business insurance. You are a business, you're operating as a business. Make sure you establish some business insurance for yourself. And then, depending on which platform you're selling on, they might want, I can talk today, they might want the MSDS, which is the material safety, mess it up, something about safety specifics or something, safety data specifics. I think that's what it is. Material safety data specifics. I think that's what it is. I never remember. And so the data sheet, safety data sheet. Okay. So I'm going to put this link in the chat. Maybe not. Oh, wait. I got a bunch of links. So in the MSDS sheet is necessary. Most of the time, if you are buying an item, you can contact the manufacturer or distributor if you can't find it online. So sometimes I will type in the name of the product and type MSDS in Google, and then it'll come up. Or I might type in the name of the product and safety data sheet or safety data specifics and into Google, and then the document will come up. You can download it and attach it to, if you have a case on Amazon or whatever platform you're selling it on. So you make sure that they have the information that you need for those specific things. And again, what the requirement is going to be different for every individual product, unfortunately. because the contents of the products are not identical unless you're in a specific lane. If you're staying in a specific lane, then you know what you need and you know how to get it. But if you're going to be hopping from lane to lane on which products you're going to be selling from a bundle standpoint, you got to be prepared for the randomness of having to find that document. And if that manufacturer and distributor does not have that document available, then the other thing you also have to be mindful of is you have to be prepared for the fact that you may have to go actually do some safety testing yourself. That is not inexpensive. If it is a product that you're confident that you've vetted, you've gone and looked at the sales data, you've gone and looked at the audience for it, you already know what the margins are, and the margins are ridiculous, then it may be worth you spending whatever that number happens to be, $200, $300, $400 to get the test redone, because we know it's out there somewhere in the universe, but nobody can find it. Get it redone so you have it for your own records, and you submit that to the platform in which you need to sell it on. And then there's going to be some products that you're just not allowed to sell. Just be prepared for that. Just be prepared for it. So your goal is, when you're looking at products that you're going to be selling, especially if it's products that may contain something that is perceived as a potential hazard, flammable, aerosol, whatever it happens to be, make sure you review the manufacturer product information. Flip the item around and look at the back of the box or the bottle or whatever, so that you have a way in which to contact that distributor or manufacturer. Check to see if the product is on the platform. So if you're trying to sell something for the first time and it's not on the platform at all, you need to be prepared for, I'm going to have to get a data sheet for this. Like, I don't have a choice. Even if it's in your bundle, you're going to have to get a data sheet. If it's not sold standalone by itself and you're wanting to put it in a bundle, you need to be prepared for that. Don't be surprised and caught off guard. Review the platform guidelines for the product category, see what approval you need to get, and then check for shipping and packaging guidelines. Yes, there might be a specific way that this thing has to be shipped. If they're shipping it and it's going in the bottom of a plane, they may have some air pressure, situations where the thing might explode. And if you didn't indicate in your bundle, you didn't do the research in advance and that thing gets shipped and the plane explodes, who are they coming after? And I don't just mean them. I mean, like, it's not going to be good. So make sure that you're mindful of it and make sure that you know what is required. And one of the easiest ways to do that is, like on Amazon, if you try to add that individual item as a listing, just as a standalone, not as a bundle, and you add it to your inventory and you're about to create a shipment for it, you're going to immediately get a notification that says what it is that it requires in order for you to even list this thing. So that's your hint to go do the work. Go do the work so you know what is required to even list this thing. So add it standalone. Make sure you check it to see if it's already on the platform and add it to your inventory. If you don't have an Amazon account, if you're selling on eBay or Etsy or whatever, again, sometimes it may trigger a message when you actually try to list it in your inventory. But the one that will definitely do that is Amazon. Amazon will definitely trigger it. So even if you decided I'm not selling on Amazon for a while because I'm sick of all of the stupid stuff that they're making me go through right now, even if you're not selling, just go find that one product standalone and go add it to your inventory and then wait for the messages. It's going to give you some messages. And just go through those steps and pretend like you're going to ship it so that you know what all the things are. Amazon can be your check and balance, even if you don't plan on selling it on Amazon. Again, Amazon can be your check and balance, so use them, even if you don't plan on selling on Amazon. That's going to save your business a lot of heartache and headache, and it's going to save you from a legal standpoint, because again, they've done the best job of all the platforms of making sure that they have guidelines established for every little minuscule thing. Trust me. All right, so then I have a bunch of links for a bunch of hazmat and prohibited products, and I'm going to share them in the chat. I'm also going to, I know that I need to send an email, so we're going to send out a big email this week that has a bunch of stuff from sessions 1, 2, 3, and 4 with links and some information to try and help you guys along this journey. But here's the deal. you really do need to know what are the guidelines for the platforms in which you plan on making sure this item is listed. Even though we've gone through Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Facebook, Marketplace, Walmart, we've gone through those. If there's another platform you're going to sell on, don't overlook the information for that specific platform. Go look for it, go find it, go read, especially if you're going to include a product that's hazmat. I'm trying to save your business. I'm trying to save you from lawsuits. I'm trying to save you from negatively impacting an individual or a family. So like those of you who like to sell baby stuff or kid stuff, like, yeah, you got to make sure all your game is on point. You can't be slipping on anything. And also be mindful in your packaging when you're selling things for kids, for sure. Like when you're shipping your things, make sure that you follow the guidelines for the dimensions for the packaging. One of the things I think we talked about last week, but I didn't put it in today, so I apologize for that, is the suffocation bags. So you got to make sure that, sorry, not suffocation bags. It's not a real thing. Poly bags that don't have the suffocation label. Poly bags that don't have the suffocation label. So make sure that if your bag exceeds a certain dimension, that you have a suffocation warning on it, or a potential suffocation warning or label on your poly bag. So again, if you're ordering it from Bubble Fast, it already has that on there. You don't even, like, they've already done it. But you can also print your standalone so that way it's there, because you don't want a lawsuit if you're selling stuff that you've stuffed into a poly bag of some type. Okay. So I'm going to give you these links for all of these. Make sure you know what the guidelines are for the different platforms. So if you're, carriers, so I included UPS, USPS, and FedEx so that you have those guidelines as well. If you plan on shipping something that is hazmat or may be potential hazmat, so that you don't get caught off guard or prohibited. So use Amazon as your test dummy, because it will kick you out. It will tell you what you need. And they also, like I said, they do the best job. I'm not going to lie, out of all the platforms. Even if you don't plan on selling anything else ever again on Amazon, use it for that. So next week, I'm going to put these in the chat. Next week, we're going to do a review and catch up. So that's the reason why I got to send you a big email with a bunch of links. We're also going to talk about your numbers. We're going to talk about setting your targets for minimum and maximizing your profits, and listing optimization. Let's optimize those listings. So I hope today was helpful. Let me go copy these links in the chat. And we're going to do a review. And it's actually not next week. It's the 22nd. So on the 22nd, we are actually going to do the review. So I'll send the email later today that has everything that we've covered so far, the links to all the stuff that I've covered so far, the things that I've shared, and we'll go from there. So what questions do you all have? I know we've covered a lot. Why can't I get to the chat? There we go, chat. And again, I'm going to send these links. Whoops. So when we do the review, for those that may be behind, it's okay. You always have access to the recordings. You always have access to the recording, so you can always go back and restrict. What happened there? Something happened with the post. Just a second. I think it's limiting me. Just a second. Let me stop and do part of this. Copy. I think that's one. And then copy. And that's two. Okay, that's all. So the replay, I'll put the replay up as soon as this renders, because this is a shorter class. On the 22nd, it will not be a short class. We're literally going to go through everything pretty fast. So I'll put the replay up here shortly. Remember, you can jump on the live Q&A. The Q&A is at 2 o'clock. And I will also email out an opportunity for you guys to do a one-on-one 20-minute session. So here's the deal. The 20-minute session is free for all eCom Sellers Academy members. So if you're already an Academy member, you already know that you can schedule your free 20-minute session. The people that are not Academy members, we're going to give you a chance to do a 20-minute session. If you started down the path of creating a bundle that you want to talk about, look at, and discuss further. And then at the end of the class, I'll give you one more chance to do a 20-minute session, and that'll be it. But I want to make sure that you guys are a success. I want to make sure that you create some bundles that you feel like you've done enough vetting. You have a strategy, you have an approach. We still have lots of other stuff we're going to be covering. So just, we're at the halfway mark of this particular class. So when I look at what we're covering next, that's Walmart. That's not the one that I wanted. When I look at what we're covering next, paused. I don't know what happened. Resume. I'm trying to move this little floaty thing. I'm sorry, y'all. Me and technology. So we're going to do a review of everything. So we're reviewing everything. And then we're going to go into some more. We're going to take a deeper dive into sourcing in session 6 and using data to help you make some decisions around sourcing. And then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about trademark. We're going to talk about the IP Accelerator Program. And we're talking about social signals. And do another review in session 7. And then session 8, we're going to be wrapping up. We're talk about how you can use a VA to help you source products, find products, whatever you need to do with your products, using a VA for that. So sourcing session 6, which I think is like the first weekend in June. I don't. First weekend in June. So we're going to talk about sourcing. We did talk about some sourcing in session 1 and 2. We're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into sourcing and some more sourcing strategies. But we definitely the review and then also figuring out how much am I pricing this thing for? What's my price point? What am I going to sell it for? How much is it going to cost me? Blah, blah, blah. So we're doing that in session 5, which is on the 22nd. So look for the email. We'll upload the video later on today, this class video. And, get started. Schedule your 20-minute session so we can talk about what you're doing and what you've done and how does this impact your business. And heads up, those 20-minute sessions are more than likely going to be after the tax day. Tax day is May the 17th. So I'm looking at the calendar as I'm talking to you guys and I'm pausing for a second. So there'll probably be one-on-one sessions on the 21st. We'll have a few on the 22nd and then a couple on the 23rd. So I'm probably only going to open up about 15 slots and grab a slot if you want to talk to me about your bundle. If you want to get some ideas, bounce some ideas off of me. And then we'll open up slots again at the end of class for the first week in June. So we'll look at your bundle, see where you are. And if you don't have a bundle done by the end of this, don't feel bad about that. Like there's work that you have to do. If this is what you're doing, this is going to become your strategy long term. So branding is going to be important, especially if you plan on staying on Amazon. Branding is also important if you're planning on leaving a legacy and turning this into an actual business that can be sold. You have to know that there are hundreds of thousands of stories of people who have bigger brands because they did a great job with identifying the niche and creating a good product and a good product bundle, and then their business got sold. It's like, okay. So if you just want to sit on the beach and count dollars all day, do a really good job of coming up with what your bundle strategy is going to be. And if you're like me and you like to focus on the upcoming things, because I like to flip stuff fast. So mine's a mixture of still doing retail arbitrage, wholesale, and, listing things so that they sell within a certain amount of time. That's always still a good strategy. The last thing I wanted to mention because of that is the movies that are coming up. So there's a boatload of movies that are coming up. Leave this page. I don't know why this little resume thing just keeps doing that. It's very annoying. Okay. Change this. We have our monthly eCom online meetup today. So if you don't know about that, that's out there somewhere on several of the pages that I manage. Somewhere out there. So look for that. It's at 3 o'clock. So if you're coming to the Q&A at 2 o'clock, it's definitely just going to be 30 minutes today. Because of the fact that we have the monthly meetup today. Okay. So I gave you a list of upcoming movies. And just so you know, some of these products are already out. So, hold on. Oh, Venus Williams. I need a post. I don't know where it is. Okay, upcoming movies. Okay. So the upcoming movies, we have the Black Widow. Some of the toys are already out. Some of the characters. So what's going to happen for back to school? There's going to be some kids out there that want some of the characters for Black Widow. You're going to start seeing backpacks. You're going to start seeing some lunch pails, thermoses. You're going to see pencil and pencil sets, notepads. You're going to see that because Black Widow came out. The next one is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I don't know that one. But again, Marvel. So I'm going to go check it out. September the 3rd. So that one's going to be a big one. And then you have Venom. Venom's coming out the 24th. So Venom is probably going to be a character that you might see Halloween costumes for sure. And then maybe some characters from this one as well. So Halloween costumes and or Halloween buckets, for candy, maybe decorations to some extent, especially Venom, because he's crazy. Like he looks like something that's Halloween specific. Then you have Spider-Man around Christmas time. So there's going to be some kids that want Spider-Man. So I would start sourcing for any Spider-Man related stuff early and just know, like, I'm going to give you a tip. Back to school, they're going to be selling a whole bunch of pencil and pen sets and notebooks. And then, of course, you could have a spiral notebook with some pencils. And then you can do a coloring book, all of that together to put in a Christmas stocking bundle. You have, what is it? Pencil protector, whatever, or the pouch that you save your pencils and pens and erasers in. I should know the names of these products, but I don't. So again, you have the opportunity because Spider-Man is going to be something that kids are going to be interested in. And then next year, so we have Doctor Strange and the multiverse. I'm interested in that one. This one is happening probably right before Easter, so it's not going to be in time for Easter, but I would tell you all of these summer activities, all of these are going to be popular products for back to school next year. I can guarantee you. That includes socks, t-shirts, jackets. That includes school supplies. That includes so many things, including posters. This is that stuff that I'm like, these are quick sales for me. And then also the characters for some of these, like they're going to be popular characters you can put in Christmas bundles if you're doing Christmas bundles. I do Christmas bundles. We have Spider-Man in the Spidey Universe, Spideyverse #2. I am so interested in that one. That was a really good one. If you haven't seen Spidey into the Spideyverse, Spider-Verse, you should really look at it. The Marvels, which I'm so confused about that. That's actually Captain Marvel and some more Marvel, whatever. So these are all things that are going to come out. She's going to be popular for Christmas next year. So again, from a sourcing strategy standpoint, you can start looking at that. So yes, I will send a wholesale list, and we'll definitely make sure that you have that. I'll make sure we include the wholesale list. So be thinking about whatever your strategy is. This is the strategy that works for me. It's worked consistently like clockwork, and I will sell my items. If I can't sell it on Amazon, which I'm not worried about Amazon anymore, I will sell it on other platforms, Facebook Marketplace, Google Shopping, Bonanza, eBay. I will sell it wherever I want to, outside of Amazon. So drive traffic, put it on your Shopify store. If you're going to do Shopify bundles, we have a Shopify training. So you could just create a store where you sell Shopify products. Sell your products, your bundles on Shopify. In any case, I hope this is helpful for you. So definitely make a note, put these on your calendar. put a reminder on your calendar. So I typically put a reminder on my calendar 6 months before, 4 months before, 2 months before. So then that way I got a 6-month reminder up. Every time I see something that's related to this, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Start putting together some bundles, start putting together some ideas, start looking for wholesale suppliers, start looking for products. Because some of these products are actually available like in the UK or other countries before they're available here in the US. And then, because actually all the Black Widow stuff, because she was supposed to come out last year, all that stuff came out last year, just for those who don't know. It actually came out last year already. So same thing like with Wonder Woman, all her stuff came out long before the movie, and then they had to figure out how they were going to release it because of COVID. So some of this stuff came out already. So keep that in mind. All right. Well, that is all that I have for you. We will see you guys on the 22nd. So I will see you on the 22nd. And is there anything else? Oh, I have a panelist here. Renata's here. What did you want to say, Renata?
Just hello.
And happy Mother's Day to you all. I'm really excited. So happy Mother's Day to your mothers. Happy Mother's Day to you if you're a mother. I hope this information was helpful. And don't forget the live Q&A is starting in a couple of hours. It's only going to be 30 minutes today. So have your questions ready. I have to get ready for the 3 o'clock. I'm going to be on there for about an hour and a half. So yeah, that's it. Happy Mother's Day. I hope you guys have an amazing day tomorrow, and look for my email later on tonight. Talk with you later. Bye-bye.
Happy Mother's Day.